right? Money isn't needed. Is what's needed in life is cash. We're working for money, or we think that we need to get on and we need to get rich. We think that, hey man, I'm trying to get rich. No, money should be looked at just exactly what you said, a tool, right? My brother Wall Street Trapper said money is a tool, right? Trap said money is a tool that is just used to do other things, right? Just used to do other things, right? And so when we look at money, it's like, what do we need out of life, right? What kind of life is it that you live, and what's holding you back from living the life that you want to live? And so when I tell people, I say, listen, I speak about credit because most of us, we don't come from money, right? Let's keep it a buck. Most of us don't come from money. So if we don't come from money, we have to start somewhere. But before we can start, we must have a respectful, we have to be respectful on the way that we view and look at our financial habits. We have to be respectful about that, right? Because a lot of times we have a disrespectful relationship when it comes to our finances, when it comes to building wealth, when it comes to acquiring assets. We have a real disrespectful relationship. So I feel like we need to build a respectful relationship with our finances. We need to build a respectful relationship with our credit. We need to build a respectful relationship with our spending habits, with our budgeting, with our banking relationships. These are all things that come into play, right? Most of us look at like, I want to go, and mental health is something that's super important. And we think about mental health and we'll compare it to relationships with family, kids, significant others, right? But we never look and analyze the relationship with our finances, right? Like, what's your relationship with your bank? What kind of relationship do you have with your bank? What kind of relationship is it that you have with your budgeting, right? What kind of relationship is it that you have with credit in your credit report? What kind of relationships do you have with it, right? And see, what happens is that we go, I don't, my bank, I don't know. Like, what kind of relationship? Do you study your relationship? Do you study your partner? The bank that you bank with, do you look at your partner and say, these are the things that you like. These are the things that you don't like, right? You imagine anybody that's out here that's married, that's in a relationship, ever had a relationship. If you're in a relationship with your partner and you never for 1 second say, what is it that my partner likes? What is it that my partner don't like? What is it that turns my partner on? What pisses my partner off is just as equally as what makes my partner smile, right? But if you don't have that relationship with your bank, don't that say something? If you don't have that kind of relationship with your finances, what will happen? If you didn't understand this about your partner, most likely y'all wouldn't be together, right? So then we look and say, well, I'm not having the financial stability that I want, but in your relationship, are you giving the same things that it deserves to maintain this relationship? Are you putting yourself into the relationship and putting everything in it and giving the attention that's needed? See, most of us want to go and lay down with and have a partner, and we're okay with being in a relationship. But you suck at relationships because you haven't respectfully took a view and looked at the relationship. And I'm not saying that everybody sucks at relationships. No. Some relationships is better than others, right? You ever, everybody's had exes, everybody's had people that they with now, and you ever realize that some relationships was a little bit easier to maintain because you just understood each other a little bit better, right? That you just understood each other a little bit better. You was able to communicate a little bit better, right? These are the same things where we have to figure out with our banking institutions. When we start learning about credit and how we actually start building our credit and building our finances and looking at our budget. Like, listen, every single month we have to get by. Nothing in life is free. You don't sleep for free. You don't eat for free. You don't drink for free, right? All of these things are needed to get by in life. And so what happens is that we have to question and go, well, we're paying for something. We're paying for things, but the things that we're paying for, what's the relationship like? So I'm making money, but what's the relationship like? Right? Shout out to my brother Derek Grace just tapped in, right? But what's my relationship like with money, right? Derek Grace got the Mary Hoes Club, right? Watch this, listen, right? Understand is that you look at relationships with money like we should look and study our relationships when it comes to marriage and when it comes to significant others. And For those of you that's joining, right, we're just talking about money, right, and our relationship with money. Before we start going into the big bag talk on how we get money and the things to do with it, right, I want y'all to start first looking at how you have to respect money and the relationship. Yo, what is it that you do with your money? Are you really catering to your budget? Are you loving your budget, right? Are you pouring and listening to what your budget has to say back to you, right? Because some of us is spending and being like, fuck that budget. Some of us is spending way more than we making because we're not respecting the budget. And since we don't respect our budget, our finances aren't respecting us. Our money isn't respecting us because we're not respecting it. We're not putting the action forward that's needed. So we have to forward think like, listen, let's be respectful, right? Let's be respectful to the money that we do get. I don't give a fuck if you make $1,000 a month. You have to respect that 1,000 like you're going to respect 100,000. You have to. It's absolutely necessary that you respect the money. Then you have to understand and respect where you put it. See, a lot of us only know banks. If I tell you can put your money in the bank, then everybody knows that this is where it goes, right? This is where it goes, that my money goes into the bank. Well, maybe I need to learn the bank. Okay, well, maybe you need to learn insurance because that's a place that you can park money. Maybe you need to understand and learn about the insurance game. You need to understand the stock market and understand how you can park money in the stock market. Understand you can park money in the stock market and borrow money back. You can borrow 80% of what you put into the stock market and invest it into an S&P 500, invest it into a Apple, invest it into a company that's seen growth over year, borrow 80% back at 3%, take that money that you borrowed at 3%, and put it in another asset to produce more income or in another safety net. Listen, but what happens is none of that shit matter if you don't respect it. You gotta respect the relationship. Before you get in a relationship, a lot of y'all just wanna, right? This is not a bang out situation. A lot of y'all just want to bang shit out. And unfortunately, the same way that you bang shit out in the streets when it come to girls, for my niggas that's single, when y'all out here banging out bras and that's what you're doing, that's the same relationship that you have with money. That's the same thing you do to your bank institution. You only want what you can get from it and you out. And then you never actually fulfill and see the full potential of what that institution could have did for you, what the relationship, what the woman could have did for you, the things that she could have did for you, and the stability that she could have provided for you. And you wonder why you in my back. So, right, and then fellas wonder why am I sleeping alone? Why am I eating out every night? Why I ain't wash my sheets in a month? I'm sleeping on the same sheets, and I don't got dressers in my house, right? Because you're only looking for relationships that you can get out of it what you want. You're not willing to put in and study your partners. You're not willing to build strong relationships in every aspect of your life. And you wonder like, 500, man, I want to get with you. And I go and I be seeing dudes that's single and maybe they post their kids once every 6 months, but in between that 6 months, you live a good life. Nah, fam. Your life fucked up, and I can see it by reading through the lines. That your life is fucked up. You don't qualify for me to sit and have a conversation and build with you. Because of what? Because you don't respect relationships. You got 3 different kids, 3 different places. Nah, you're not respecting relationships. So how can you respect the relationship that you asking me to give to you? See, you have to respect relationships. See, then you get better. When you respect the relationship with the bank, you can't understand the stock market if you're not willing to see what it does and actually learn that. You'll never understand it because you're not willing to invest and dedicate yourself to being a student and a sponge of what's needed, what's necessary, and what's needed for you to give to it so it can give to you. You just want to take from people. See, this is the bad. We can't have the relationship that we want to take from people. We have to have a relationship that we want to give and we want to build with each other. We want to build with people. We want to build with everybody that's in our life, whether it's a human being, whether it's a bank institution, whether it's the credit bureaus, whether it's the stock market, whether it's insurance company. Everything is needed when it comes to building a relationship.